Peace to you. What's going on, beautiful people? It's a beautiful day. I'm in Kentucky. I'm freezing cold. I love the cold. I love seeing the snow and whatnot, but my body doesn't. Okay, I'm a Floridian. I'm used to the tropical, subtropical weather, seeing the sun all the time, feeling the sun's presence. But anywho, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations is nothing but growth. Okay. Anywho, today is all about the Master Key System Part 4. Okay? Now, this particular part is so powerful. Part 1 through 3 is powerful as well. But so far, to me, this is one of the most powerful ones yet that we've come across in this book. Okay? And if you haven't seen part 1, 2, and 3, I highly recommend you go check those out before you get into this one. I'll put the links below, so go ahead and get to the links and start at 1. Okay, that's what I would recommend, because it's a series of steps and techniques and ways of thinking that get you ready for the next step. And what this book will help us do is become aware of the all-pervading, omnipresent energies that are always surrounding us, and how to access it and use it to our advantage to help us create a world that we desire. So we're not creating a world or going through life creating ourselves into somebody that we don't want to be or we don't really think about becoming. It's helping us lock into those energies and using the energy to our advantage. All right. So without further ado, here we go. So I'm just gonna go through the introduction first, read the whole introduction, then I'll pinpoint some of these paragraphs that are in here, just like usual. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but this one, there's a lot. There's a lot, because this chapter is so powerful. So bear with me. We'll get through it, and we're gonna learn a lot about ourselves and about the world around us. Okay? So introduction. Enclosed herewith, I hand you part 4. This part will show you why what you think, do, or feel is an indication of what you are. Thought is energy, and energy is power. And it is because all the religions, sciences, and philosophies with which the world has heretofore been familiar have been based upon the manifestation of this energy instead of the energy itself, that the world has been limited to effects, while causes have been ignored or misunderstood. For this reason, we have God and the devil in religion, positive and negative in science, and good and bad in philosophy. The master key reverses the process. It is interested only in cause, and the letters received from students tell a marvelous story. They indicate conclusively that students are finding the cause whereby they may secure for themselves health, harmony, abundance, and whatever else may be necessary for their welfare and happiness. Life is expressive, and it is our business to express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. Sorrow, misery, unhappiness, disease, and poverty are not necessities, and we are constantly eliminating them. But this process of eliminating consists in rising above and beyond limitation of any kind. He who has strengthened and purified his thought need not concern himself with microbes, and he who has come into the understanding of the law of abundance will go at once to the source of supply. It is thus that fate, fortune, and destiny will be controlled as readily as the captain controls his ship or an engineer his train. So within this chapter, we are going to figure out, become aware of how our feelings, our thoughts, and our actions show us who we are, and how philosophies, religions, sciences, they all basically give us answers. So basically they're creating our world, and then we're not creating the world for ourselves. So this is going to help us to not really eliminate the sciences, the beliefs, and all of that, because those are important. They help us to grow. But it's gonna help us figure out how those sciences and philosophies that we've learned have created who we are. And now we're able to create ourselves and pick from those philosophies, from those sciences, from those beliefs, the religions, what we feel hold true within ourselves, and get rid of the ones that we don't, the ones that we might be holding on to that are hindering us from our absolute development. So that's basically what I get from the introduction. It's really just gonna help us become the creator that we are meant to be and create authentically. So now I'm gonna go into the actual session. Part 4, number 1. The I of you is not the physical body. That is simply an instrument which the I uses to carry out its purposes. The I cannot be the mind, for the mind is simply another instrument which the I uses with which to think, reason, and plan. 2. The I must be something which controls and directs both the body and the mind, something which determines what they shall do and how they shall act. When you come into a realization of the true nature of this I, you will enjoy a sense of power which you have never before known. So whenever you use the word I, it is very powerful, because just like the book said, whenever you refer to yourself as I, you're not fully just talking about your body. You might be superficially, but energetically, you're speaking about the you that was you before your body was created, that whole essence of you. So whenever you're talking in forms of I am, you aren't just talking about your body. You are talking to your identity, yourself, your energy, your higher self. So that's basically what number 1 was talking about. And number 2 is saying whenever you come into realization of it, you will find the power, because once you start using your words constructively according to the desires you want to fulfill in your life, whenever you start using your words and the way you talk about yourself, that power that you will harness will be so immense. Listen, I started it and I really realized who I energetically was, who I within myself was, and I realized how I was creating myself blindly, and then I was able to unprogram myself and reprogram myself. I'm along the journey right now. It's never ending. But once you get that awareness and you start to create your reality how you want to, the power that comes with that and the fulfillment is beyond words. Number 3. Your personality is made up of countless individual characteristics, peculiarities, habits, and traits of character. These are the results of your former method of thinking, but they have nothing to do with the real I. 4. When you say I think, the I tells the mind what it shall think. When you say I go, the I tells the physical body where it shall go. The real nature of this I is spiritual and is the source of the real power which comes to men and women when they come into a realization of their true nature. So, who you have created yourself to be before you became aware of the power of words, the power of using I am and I, before you became aware of the other forms of yourself beyond the physical body, you may have created yourself to be somebody that you aren't fully. It might be a part of you because of your beliefs that you have held and how you've seen yourself. But now that you are aware of the omnipresent bodies of who you are, the omnipotence of who you are, now you can recreate yourself and you can create a world and a reality that you more so desire, and one that more so aligns to your purpose here in this life. That's what I get from 3. 5. The greatness and most marvelous power which this I has been given is the power to think. But few people know how to constructively or correctly. Consequently, they achieve only indifferent results. Most people allow their thoughts to dwell on selfish purposes, the inevitable result of an infantile mind. When a mind becomes mature, it understands that the germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. So number 5 talks about thinking constructively, thinking in a manner that will help you manifest your desires and help you become the person you truly want to be. Whenever you are having certain thoughts that don't align with who you want to be, whenever you're able to negate them and reinforce a thought or a feeling or action that aligns with your belief, then you are thinking constructively, then you are acting constructively, then you are feeling constructively in relationship to where you want to go in life. But when we aren't aware of the power of I, we may have certain thoughts that don't really fit us, a thought that maybe somebody said to us, and then we keep thinking about it over and over. Oh, am I really this way that this person has said? And what that's doing is manifesting into your future. You feeling these ways, you may be acting in a certain way that you don't really align with, because your thoughts create your reality. Who you think you are, whether it's for what you feel inside or what somebody has told you you are, how you feel about yourself will manifest. And whenever you constructively access that energy and that power and you use it to help you become who you truly want to be, then you have gained an immense power and understanding of yourself, and now you're able to create your reality and create success within yourself, and not just yourself, but the world. Right? And that's what, let me go to number 6. The trained mind knows that every transaction must benefit every person who is in any way connected to the transaction, and any attempt to profit by weakness, ignorance, or necessity of another will inevitably operate to his advantage. So number 6 is talking about how whenever we do start to create, whenever we do think about who we want to become, we wrap it around not just ourselves, we involve the whole collective. We involve the whole world to benefit from our thoughts and who we are, because ultimately we're all collective. It's a universal collective, a universal power. We're all one, okay? Not physically, but energetically. You know, I'm not my neighbor physically, superficially, but in a sense, everything on this planet, in this universe, is connected in some way. And if you are thinking in terms of just you creating for yourself and, you know, and it might hinder somebody else's ability to grow, who you are, your I, is also somebody else, okay? So if you're going against somebody else and you are trying to create this life when in turn it's going to make somebody else's life more diminished, the I within you is not very fulfilled within that, because it's only fulfilling one part of itself, just you. But whenever you start to manifest in ways that you incorporate the world or also nature with your desires or with your success, you incorporate your family or your people, your community, not just yourself, then the I is more fulfilled. You become more empowered. You become more fulfilled yourself. That's what I get from number 6. Number 10, referring to the affirmation, I can be what I will to be. Every time you repeat it, realize who and what this I is. Try to come into a thorough understanding of the true nature of this I. If you do, you will become invincible. That is, provided that your objects and purposes are constructive and are therefore in harmony with the creative principle of the universe. 11. Make use of this affirmation. Use it continuously, night and morning. and as often during the day as you think of it, and continue to do so until it becomes a part of you. Form the habit. 12. Unless you do this, you had better not start at all, because modern psychology tells us that when we start something and do not complete it, or make a resolution and do not keep it, we are forming the habit of failure. Absolute ignominious failure. If you do not intend to do a thing, do not start. If you do start, see it through, even if the heavens fall. If you make up your mind to do something, do it. Let nothing, no one interfere. The I in you has determined. The thing is settled. The die is cast. There is no longer any argument. So this affirmation, I can be what I will to be, is very powerful because you're not telling yourself that you are some specific thing. You're some specific label, specific gender, specific ethnicity, specific whatever. It's literally allowing your inner being to be what it will to be. That power within itself, you unlock all doors of possibility at that point. So continuously saying that affirmation will help you align with the universal principles of yourself, not just the physical you. It'll help you align with all aspects and infinite possibilities of who your physical self is and the possibilities of what you can achieve in this life. That's what I get from that affirmation and what it's talking about. And if you want to start this affirmation, start it and do it. Don't say you're gonna do it and then not end up doing it, because then you're creating distrust between your physical self and your higher self. And you don't want to do that. Just be consistent. Just a little bit, maybe once a day. Just say, I'm gonna do it once a day. Okay, and then just do it. And the more you do that, the more your inner self will trust your physical self. And that bond between the inner self and physical self is so powerful. You'll be able to manifest your desires. You'll be able to create the person that you want to be. You'll be able to attract the things, the people, the situations into your life that you more so desire, rather than attracting things, randomly, because you don't truly know who you are. You're not connected to your inner self. So that's what I get from that affirmation and what it's talking about and how to go about it. 15. This is not so strange or impossible as it may appear when you remember that the world within is controlled by the I, and that this I is a part or one with the infinite I, which is the universal energy or spirit, usually called God. So basically, it's saying for me, this isn't as strange as it may seem, because when you remember that how you feel about yourself, what you say to yourself, the thoughts that you have, the world within you creates the world outside of you. When you realize that, these techniques, these words, these ways of going about things, these ways of going about perceiving of things isn't strange at all, because you harness that power and you understand that power of who you are inside, the thoughts you have, and what you tell yourself will create your reality. So these teachings, these helpful guides aren't so abstract or outlandish. That's what I get from that one. It's just helping you see the full picture, bring it all together. 18. Lyman Abbott, in an address delivered from the alumni of Bangor Theological Seminary, said, "We are coming to think of God as dwelling in man, rather than as operating on man from without." I highlighted that one because I found it to be very important and very powerful, because a lot of teachings, philosophies, religions, beliefs, just a lot of things in the world make us see God as something outside of us that is telling us what to do, or something outside of us that will help us, instead of seeing the God from within and understanding that God is within. And then once we are able to create a world within and see the world within and become aware of the world within, then we're able to more easily control the world outside. Instead of trying to control the world outside to make us feel better within, we feel better within. We do things within first, and then the outside will replicate that. It'll show through. That's what I get from that one. 25. Overwork or overplay or over bodily activity of any kind produces conditions of mental apathy and stagnation, which makes it impossible to do the more important work, which results in a realization of conscious power. We should, therefore, seek the silence frequently. Power comes through response. It is in the silence that we can be still, and when we are still, we can think. And thought is the secret of all attainment. So this one was very powerful as well. Like I said, this whole chapter is so powerful. Please, whenever I scan the book and you see the whole book, please just read it for yourself so you can get your own understanding, because this is just me and how I understand today. But this whole chapter is so powerful. What I get from this 25 is whenever we're overworking ourselves, when we're awake and we're just doing things all the time, never resting, we're not really focusing and becoming aware of who we deeply are inside. We can read books all day long, but those are just perspectives from somebody else. Those are just words and a way of seeing things from somebody else in their journey. It may not pertain to you and how you can communicate with your inner self. So within silence, becoming aware of who you deeply are, just being in silence and asking yourself questions, that is powerful. And it could be difficult because within this world we have to go to work. We don't have to, but that's how things have aligned to be. We have to go to work. We don't really have time for ourselves. If we're not working, we're busy tending to our whatnot, children or neighbors or sport or whatever, which are all great things. They're all great. But really take the time to sit with yourself and get to know yourself. Because once you get to know yourself, the books that you read, the information that you're told, you'll be able to take from it what you deeply resonate with and see it for how you should see it and how it can help you with manifesting the desires you want and creating a life that you want. But when you don't know yourself, when you haven't sat with yourself and really understood what you want and who you are and how to get where you want to get, you're just gonna take information and just believe people and books and philosophies because it may have worked for somebody else, but you don't really know because you haven't figured out how it's gonna work for you. So that one's very powerful. Sit with yourself. Get to know yourself. Within silence is power. 26. Thought is a mode of motion and is carried by the law of vibration, the same as light or electricity. It is given vitality by the emotions through the law of love. It takes form and expression by the law of growth. It is a product of the spiritual I, hence its divine, spiritual, and creative nature. 27. From this, it is evident that in order to express power, abundance, or any other constructive purpose, the emotions must be called upon to give feeling to the thought so that it will take form. How may this purpose be accomplished? This is the vital point. How may we develop the faith, the courage, the feeling, which will result in accomplishment? 28. The reply is by exercise. Mental strength is secured exactly the same way that physical strength is secured, by exercise. We think something, perhaps with difficulty the first time. We think the same thing again, and it becomes easier this time. We think it again and again, it then becomes a mental habit. We continue to think the same thing. Finally, it becomes automatic. We can no longer help thinking this thing. We are now positive of what we think. There is no longer any doubt about it. We are sure we know. So for these paragraphs, what really stuck out to me is the connection with emotions and thoughts. Whenever you have a thought, that's powerful. Whenever you relate an emotion to the thought, that's even more powerful. Then it's really starting to manifest. All right. So be mindful with your emotions and the thoughts that you have. Think about the emotions that you have behind those thoughts. If somebody calls you some name and the thoughts that you have within that name gives you a certain feeling, think about why it's giving you that feeling, and think about how you can go about changing those feelings that you get when you feel those certain thoughts, or certain thoughts arise in your head. Let's just say you have a thought that you want to become a singer. Whenever you have that thought, do you get anxious? Do you get afraid? Do you feel doubtful? If so, you already mastered the first step. Now you're becoming aware. You're thinking about how it's making you feel. Now you can go about rearranging that feeling, because that feeling is helping manifest your future about that thought. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm a singer and I love it. I love my voice. I love singing. I love being able to use music to whatever, change that feeling that is correlated with the thought. And within repetition, within you continuously having those certain emotions that are connected to those thoughts, will help manifest your desires even quicker and more efficiently. That's what I get from those couple paragraphs. So now we're going into the application. Last week I asked you to relax, to let go physically. This week I am going to ask you to let go mentally. If you practice the exercise given to you last week, 15 or 20 minutes a day, in accordance to the instructions, you can no doubt relax physically. And anyone who cannot consciously do this quickly and completely is not a master of himself or herself. He or she has not obtained freedom. He or she is still a slave to conditions. But I shall assume that you have mastered the exercise and are ready to take the next step, which is mental freedom. This day, after taking your usual position, remove all tension by completely relaxing, then mentally let go of all adverse conditions, such as hatred, anger, worry, jealousy, envy, sorrow, trouble, or disappointment of any kind. You may say that you cannot let go of these things, but you can. You can do so by mentally determining to do so, by voluntary intention and persistence. The reason that some cannot do this is because they allow themselves to be controlled by the emotions instead of by their intellect. But those who will be guided by the intellect will gain the victory. You will not succeed the first time you try, but practice makes perfect. In this, as in everything else, you must succeed in dismissing, eliminating, and completely destroying these negative and destructive thoughts, because they are the seeds which is constantly germinating into discordant conditions of every conceivable kind and description. This exercise is so powerful. It's almost like shadow work. It's inner work. It's you letting go of certain emotions, no longer allowing your emotions to control you. You becoming the master of your whole entire being, because emotions are direct communication with your inner self, with other forces within this universe. And whenever you're able to control those emotions, you let go of the jealousy, the fear, the sadness, the worry, the envy. You letting go of that, not saying you're gonna never feel it again, but you just letting go of those ties and how they control you, that is extremely, extremely powerful. And then you're able to, whenever those emotions come back again, maybe you feel jealousy again, you're able to control it now. It's no longer controlling you, because now you hold the power. The emotion no longer holds the power. You will not, whenever somebody gets you upset, you won't automatically just come at them and react. Now you have the power. You tame the emotions. That's what this exercise will help you do. Tame your emotions, become in control with your power. So that is it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you've stayed all the way to the end, I truly, truly appreciate you. You are part of this big, universal, energetic, vibrational family that I'm creating on this YouTube account, and I really, really, really am grateful for you. If you haven't seen the other episodes of this, please, please, please go watch them, okay? As always, there is much love here for everybody. You're always welcome to view the other videos. You know, I have an Instagram account. I have a SoundCloud. You know, I have music. I just released a song, you know, called Meditation. And it's just me. It's just me. If you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and check me out, y'all. I really, really appreciate you. Much love. Tell somebody you love them. Tell your family you love them. This is Thanksgiving week, okay? If you don't celebrate holidays, I feel you. It's okay. Be grateful for yourself. Give thanks to yourself, okay? Go out and eat you something that you haven't eaten in a while to bring you some joy. Go out and give somebody some food if you want. Go out and just be a light in this world, okay? That's all we can be, okay? But other than that, guy, much love, much appreciation. You are whole, you are perfect, you are peaceful, you are loving, you are beautiful, okay? And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You are a powerful creator. Continue creating, enjoy the journey, and I'll be here next week, okay? Peace.